What if I told you that the most gorgeous men alive aren't the ones you can have, but the ones you never will? In 2025, Hollywood and social media are full of handsome faces, but these 5 pretty boys are on a whole different level. They're beautiful, magnetic, and utterly irresistible, yet somehow completely untouchable. Fans scream, timelines melt, and TikTok edits rack up millions of views. But behind the fame? Silence, mystery, zero hints about who they really give their heart to. From a Scottish bad boy who breaks the internet with a single smirk, to a German model whose private life is locked tighter than Fort Knox, to Netflix stars whose fanships trend globally every week, these 5 aren't just heartthrobs, they're fantasies we can't stop chasing. And maybe that's exactly why we can't look away, because sometimes not knowing makes them even hotter. Stay with us as we count down the top 5 pretty boys everyone wants but nobody gets. And trust me, number 3 will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Jaime Flatters. Jaime Flatters isn't just another pretty face in Hollywood. He's the kind of man who draws you in without even trying. At only 24, the British actor has already carved out a unique place for himself in an industry overflowing with talent, and he's done it all while keeping a sense of mystery that drives fans absolutely wild. Known for his soulful gaze, messy curls, and that subtle soft boy charm, Jaime doesn't need to scream for attention. He owns it effortlessly. His breakout role came with Avatar: The Way of Water, where he played Neteyam, the eldest son of Jake and Neytiri. It wasn't just the blockbuster's scale that turned heads. Jaime's performance left viewers captivated by his emotional depth and raw vulnerability. In an ocean of CGI spectacle, his authenticity stood out. And suddenly, Hollywood couldn't get enough of him. Yet, despite his rising fame, Jaime has remained incredibly private. No oversharing, no wild scandals, just pure magnetic presence. And that's exactly what makes him so irresistible. And then there are the rumors. Fans on TikTok and Twitter can't stop speculating about his love life. Who's he dating? Who's caught his eye? Is he gay, straight, bi, or playing on his own terms entirely? Jaime hasn't addressed a single whisper. He doesn't confirm. He doesn't deny. And that silence only fuels the obsession. In a world where everyone posts every detail of their relationships, Jaime's refusal to give fans even a breadcrumb has turned him into something rare, an enigma. Off-screen, his vibe is effortlessly cool. He's been spotted in streetwear editorials and high-fashion spreads, straddling that perfect line between artsy and approachable. One moment he's lounging barefoot with a guitar in hand, the next he's front row at Paris Fashion Week, commanding the cameras without even trying. His Instagram feels curated but not fake. Glimpses of projects, creative musings, and the occasional moody black and white selfie that fans instantly turn into phone wallpapers. But here's the thing about Jaime. He's more than a thirst trap. Behind the charm and those hauntingly good looks, there's depth. He's openly passionate about climate change and social issues, often lending his voice to causes he cares about. That combination of beauty, talent, and conscience, it's lethal. He's not just someone you want to look at, he's someone you want to know. Still, the walls remain up. The more elusive he becomes, the harder people fall. Maybe that's Jaime's greatest power. He gives just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to truly figure him out. And that's why he's landed on this list. A stunning, untouchable daydream we're all chasing, but nobody's catching. So if Jaime's your ultimate fantasy, you're definitely not alone. Drop a 5 in the comments if Jaime Flatters has you hooked. Jacob Rott, the TikTok heartthrob nobody can touch. 550 words. If you've spent more than 5 minutes on TikTok, there's no escaping Jacob Rott. With his piercing blue eyes, perfectly sculpted jawline, and that messy, I woke up like this hair, Jacob has somehow become the internet's definition of the perfect man. But here's the twist. For all the content he puts out, for all the millions of people who double tap his thirst traps, nobody really knows Jacob Rott. And maybe that's why he's driving everyone crazy. Born in Germany, Jacob shot to viral fame as part of the social media collective Elevator Boys, a group of ridiculously good-looking friends whose TikTok dances and slow-motion hallway walks have racked up hundreds of millions of views. One smirk, one glance into the camera, and boom, another million likes. But while his friends occasionally overshare or break the fourth wall, Jacob has perfected the art of giving fans just enough to stay hooked, without ever revealing too much. And that's exactly where the obsession begins. Fans analyze every caption, every song he uses, every clip of him laughing in the background. Entire Twitter threads are dedicated to decoding his vibe. Is he a shy romantic, a quiet bad boy, or both? Some even dive into his real-life friendships and rumored romances, piecing together TikTok collabs like detectives solving a love triangle. Yet Jacob never confirms anything. Not a word. Not a hint. Of course, that hasn't stopped the rumors from spiraling. Every time he's spotted getting close to someone, at events, parties, or in cryptic Instagram posts, fans lose their minds. Gay, straight, bi, fluid. Jacob refuses to label himself, and in an era where everyone feels pressured to define their identity publicly, that silence only makes him more magnetic. He's become the Gen Z embodiment of mystery in a world that overshares everything. But Jacob isn't just a pretty face. Over the past few years, he's leveraged his viral fame into a growing fashion empire. Luxury brands like Prada and Dior have lined up to feature him in campaigns, and his effortless streetwear fits inspire thousands of daily recreations on Instagram. He's become a digital style icon, someone who can pull off baggy hoodies and sharp suits with the same killer confidence. Still, it's his distance that fuels the fantasy. Fans feel like they're part of his inner circle, yet they know nothing real. That paradox, being everywhere but untouchable, is why Jacob Rott isn't just a TikTok star. He's an idea. A perfect boy you can watch, admire, maybe even dream about, but never really have. And that's what makes him dangerous. So whether you love him for his looks, his silence, or the way he plays social media like a symphony, one thing's undeniable: Jacob Rott knows exactly what he's doing. And we're all hooked. Drop a 2 if Jacob's your number 2 and climbing fast. Thomas Doherty, the untouchable bad boy of Gen Z, 550 words. There's something dangerous about Thomas Doherty. And we're not just talking about his jawline sharp enough to slice glass. He's not the loudest guy in the room. He doesn't overshare on social media. And yet somehow, everyone wants a piece of it. In 2025, when visibility is everything and mystery is nearly extinct, Thomas has mastered the art of being desirable without ever being reachable. And that's exactly why fans can't stop obsessing over him. Born in Edinburgh, Scotland, Thomas started his career like many others. Small TV roles, modeling gigs, the occasional magazine shoot. But everything changed when he landed the role of Harry Hook in Descendants. Suddenly, the boy from Scotland with messy hair, smoldering stares, and chaotic energy became an international crush overnight. And he didn't stop there. From High Fidelity to Gossip Girl, he's carefully chosen projects that turn him into a different kind of heartthrob each time. Edgy, seductive, just out of reach. But here's the thing. While other celebrities feed fans with glimpses into their dating lives, Thomas does the opposite. He lets us see just enough to keep us guessing, but never enough to truly know him. He's been linked to high-profile romances, including Dove Cameron and Yasmin Wijnaldum, yet every relationship leaves fans with more questions than answers. And the rumors? Endless. Gay, straight, bi, queer, no label has ever stuck, and Thomas isn't helping anyone figure it out. And maybe that's why the internet loves him so much. TikTok edits of Thomas pull millions of views. Twitter threads analyze every smirk, every glance, every ambiguous quote. Reddit dives deep into interviews, piecing together hints like detectives on a case they'll never solve. There's an entire fandom thriving on not knowing, on the idea that Thomas Doherty belongs to no one. behind that magnetism is also an incredible work ethic. In 2025, Thomas has transformed from Disney heartthrob into one of the most versatile actors of his generation. His roles in indie dramas showcase his depth. His fashion campaigns with Dior and Balenciaga prove he's as much a style icon as he is a screen presence. There's an effortless duality to him. He can show up at a red carpet looking untamed and reckless one night, then serve polished sophistication the next. And maybe that's the ultimate fantasy. The pretty boy you can't have, can't understand, and can't stop thinking about. So, here's the real question. Is Thomas Doherty too good to be true, or just playing a game the rest of us haven't figured out yet? Either way, his mystery isn't fading anytime soon, and maybe that's exactly what makes him unforgettable. Drop a 1 if Thomas is your number 1 so far. Louis Partridge, the boy you can't figure out, 550 words. There's a reason Louis Partridge drives the internet wild. He's the kind of guy who looks like he stepped straight out of a cinematic daydream and into your feed. With his soft golden curls, deep-set hazel eyes, and effortless British charm, Louis has mastered the art of being everywhere and nowhere at the same time. At just 21, he's already starred alongside Millie Bobby Brown in Netflix's Enola Holmes franchise, modeled for luxury brands, and become the unofficial prince of Gen Z Tumblr aesthetics. But for all his rising fame, there's one thing nobody seems to know: who Louis Partridge really is. It's not like people haven't tried to figure him out. Fans have dissected every candid photo, every behind-the-scenes moment, and every interview, hoping to piece together the puzzle. But Louis plays the game differently. He gives just enough to keep you hooked. A cheeky smile here, a soft-spoken answer there, but never more than he wants you to know. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, his silence feels almost rebellious. Of course, that silence has only amplified the rumors. From cryptic Instagram stories to whispered sightings around London, fans have speculated endlessly about his love life. Is he dating? Is he single? Does he lean one way or another? Louis has never labeled himself publicly, and in doing so, he's become one of those rare celebrities who embody fluidity and ambiguity without ever having to say a word. That mystery? It's addictive. But Louis isn't just a pretty boy surrounded by whispers. He's also talent wrapped in elegance. His role as the charming Viscount Tewkesbury in Enola Holmes won him a devoted following. But he's been carefully branching out, taking on more challenging, moodier roles that hint at a career with serious staying power. He's not rushing into Hollywood blockbusters or drowning himself in TikTok trends. Instead, he's moving like someone who knows exactly where he's headed, but refuses to give anyone the map. That quiet confidence has made him a fashion darling, too. Whether he's rocking a perfectly tailored suit on the red carpet or looking like a vintage Polaroid in soft knits and wide-legged trousers, Louis has become an accidental style icon. Every photo he posts feels curated without being try-hard, like he's living the life you dream of, but doesn't even need you to know about it. And maybe that's the real allure. Louis Partridge belongs to everyone and no one. He's the fantasy you can project anything onto, the star you can imagine in your own story, precisely because he refuses to give away his own. So, what do you do with someone like Louis? You follow, you swoon, you speculate, and you keep coming back for more, hoping one day he'll slip and let the world in. But deep down, you already know he won't. Drop a 3 if Louis is stealing your heart at number 3. Tanner Stein, the bad boy you'll never tame, 550 words. If there's one thing Tanner Stein has mastered, it's the art of making you want what you can't have. With his piercing blue eyes, perfectly tousled hair, and that jawline sculpted by the gods, Tanner isn't just another pretty face. He's a walking contradiction. At first glance, he seems like the all-American good boy, the kind of guy you'd meet at a sunlit beach or in a coming-of-age rom-com. But behind that wholesome exterior, there's a simmering edge that keeps everyone guessing and wanting more. Tanner first caught major attention with his role as Cash Howard on NCIS and later with his turn as Brody in Disney's The Thundermans. But unlike many actors who stay trapped in their early typecasting, Tanner's career has evolved, and so has his image. He's stepped into edgier projects, carved out a space for himself in the digital era, and become something of an Instagram heartthrob without even trying. Each post, whether it's a sun-drenched workout selfie or a behind-the-scenes snap, feels raw, unpolished, and perfectly curated at the same time. Of course, where there's smoke, there are whispers. Tanner's charisma and carefully guarded personal life have sparked endless speculation. He's rarely seen out in public on dates, never overshares on social media, and sidesteps any personal questions with that soft, knowing grin that leaves fans both frustrated and obsessed. The result? Tanner has become the epitome of mystery in a generation that craves transparency. What makes him so magnetic isn't just his looks, though let's be honest, they're dangerously distracting. It's the way Tanner plays with perception. On screen, he can shift effortlessly from charming goofball to brooding rebel. Off screen, he keeps his narrative tight, giving fans just enough to craft their own fantasies, but never enough to confirm them. He's essentially handing you the pen and saying, "Go ahead, write your own version of me." And when it comes to style, Tanner is quietly shaping trends. He doesn't chase flashy, high-fashion statements, but instead embraces a laid-back, California cool aesthetic that Gen Z eats up. Think vintage denim, oversized tees, sneakers that somehow always look brand new, and just the right amount of "I woke up like this" energy. He makes effortless look intentional and intentional look effortless. Still, the thing about Tanner Stein is this: the more you think you've figured him out, the more he slips through your fingers. He embodies that universal fantasy, the untouchable crush, the fleeting summer love, the one that got away before it even started. And he knows it. So whether you follow him for the acting, the abs, or the unspoken mystery, one thing's for certain: Tanner has become the guy everyone wants but nobody really gets. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly the way he likes it. Drop a 4 if Tanner's untouchable energy has you hooked at number 4. And there you have it. 5 breathtakingly perfect pretty boys who keep the world guessing, wanting, and endlessly scrolling. From red carpet appearances to cryptic Instagram posts, they've mastered the art of mystery while owning their status as modern-day heartthrobs. One thing's for sure, their beauty may feel untouchable, but their influence is everywhere. Whether you're here to swoon, speculate, or secretly fantasize, these names aren't leaving your feed or your mind anytime soon. So tell me, which one has completely stolen your heart? Drop their name or your top number in the comments below, and let's see which pretty boy reigns supreme in your world. Don't forget to subscribe if you want even more stories, secrets, and scandals from the queer side of Hollywood. Because let's be honest, we're just getting started. On fire.